Hello, everyone, and welcome to Versus Live. I am Todd Anderson, joined today by Mr. Jerry Thompson. Say hello, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
See, this guy gets it.
Hey!
Yeah, I do that with Rob like every time, and Rob's just like, hi. Like, come on, man.
Give me something.
Yeah.
Something.
All right, so...
Maybe Rob is a man of impeccable taste and doesn't want to join in on your, lowbrow
fun and
humor.
games? Yeah, okay, fun and games. No, don't like that around here. We got Ross in the booth today because Mr. Jerry has come to grace us with his presence.
I just wanted to fight someone.
Yeah, like... You want to go
in Magic.
Okay.
In Magic.
All right.
We tussled once.
Yes.
It did not end well for me.
Well, I wouldn't say it was a sucker punch, but maybe it was.
It's a long story. We figured out it was about a decade ago, right?
It was about a decade ago.
Yeah.
The anniversary's coming up this summer. Anywho, so today we are going to be testing for SEG Con at the Invitational this weekend. You brought your two decks to the table. We're going to be bringing those against two standard decks and two modern decks, and we're going to see just how good your decks are. And if you win all your matches, maybe you're playing these two decks at the tournament, and if you lose all your matches, maybe you switch.
Back to the drawing board, maybe.
Yeah.
If I can't beat Todd, who can I beat,
Yeah, and of course, we do have Ross Merriam in the booth. Sorry, they heard you talking. I got distracted by the fight story.
Yeah.
Say hi, Ross.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm going to be taking all your questions and comments and burns in the chat, so make sure you tag at SCG Tour so I can see them, and I will send the best all over to Todd and Jerry.
All right, thanks for that. We're going to talk about the decks in just a second, but real quick, I want to give a big shout out to Carnox. We have brand new chairs. You can check out these chairs if you go to carnox.com/SCG. They're super comfortable. We are hugely grateful for the sponsorship from Carnox. They're sponsoring both SCG Tour as well as Versus Live. So, Jerry, first deck on the docket, standard, your pick, go.
Esper midrange. If people have been following, hey. If people have been following my content on Star City Games, you know that I was an early adopter of this deck. I liked it a lot. I compared it to green-white tokens, which back in the day was pretty busted.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your iterations, basically it was such a flexible deck that had many different builds, and you kind of gear it towards a specific metagame. Mm-hmm. And the green-white tokens deck you used to go, 16-0 in one of the opens, and eventually lost in the top 4.
Yeah, total.
But honestly, insane run. And if you're comparing it to that deck, I want to hear more.
So the problem was that it was basically like green-white tokens for that week. Mm-hmm. And then the standard format has evolved rapidly since then, and there have been weeks where I haven't been super high on Esper midrange, but then Martin Mueller, who, former Platinum Pro, uncensored wizard on Twitch because of the thing where he swore on camera.
Yeah, and BDM did the...
he started playing a little bit more Magic now, started streaming, and he qualified for the Magic Arena MCQ.
Awesome, yeah.
And he made day 2 with an updated version that had no Thief of Sanity, still played Heroes, played Basilica Belhaunt, tried to get a good matchup against Mono Red, and then also utilized Command the Dreadhorde and a bunch of Planeswalkers to fight the midrange mirrors.
Which, honestly, if you're gaining a bunch of life over the course of the game and just playing normal Magic, sometimes Command the Dreadhorde is like, put 2 or 3 permanents on the battlefield that are super powerful, and you lose somewhere around half your life, but if your life is starting at 30, who cares?
Yeah, it's a huge tempo swing every single time. Yeah. So his updates have basically brought it back to the point where I actually like it a lot. Ben Friedman just won Grand Prix Kansas City with it. Mm-hmm. I loaned a copy to a friend of mine at the MCQ that we went to, and he went 7-0 in the Swiss before losing in top 8, I believe.
Sure.
And this is one of my front runners for the tournament.
All right. We're going to be pairing that against 2 different standard decks today. First on the docket, I'm going to be testing out this new version of Izzet Phoenix from Andrew Zegas from the same Grand Prix that Ben Friedman just won. This is a much lower to the ground version of Izzet Phoenix that goes really hard on Augur Bolus. It actually cut Crackling Drake completely. And I know that you and I had this conversation a couple times over this past weekend where we thought Crackling Drake's not very good right now because Teferi Time Raveler just bounces it, and the draw card does nothing because of Narset a lot of times. So you get stuck in this cycle where you have these 4-mana creatures that don't really do much. So I like the moving away from Crackling Drake towards Augur Bolus just because it's cheaper. And then on top of that, we have a couple of threats to keep our threat density high. We have 2 copies of was it God Eternal Kefnet?
Mhm.
So that if their opponent
Which-
does kill it, it goes back.
It still has some of the Crackling Drake problems, for sure.
But it has 5 toughness, so it doesn't die to Lava Coil,
Yep.
which all the red decks bring in Lava Coil or have it in the main. And then on the top end, I've made a few slight changes. I added 1 copy of Niv Mizzet Peyrune. I had 1 in my main deck this past weekend. It was very good.
Yeah.
Liked it a lot. So we're going to see how that goes. The sideboard's also a little different. I know the pilot Andrew said that Legion of Warboss was unplayable in the sideboard. He hated
Which
it through the
you
whole
kind of
time.
found playing in the MCQ anyway.
Figured out, I actually thought about it beforehand. I thought that Warboss was like a little bit weaker now because a lot of the decks that do play Planeswalkers, the ones you want to be attacking, they have either Wild Growth Walker or Hero Precinct 1. And both those kind of brick wall the Legion of Warboss.
Even Basilica Bellhaunt, you
Right.
know?
So our sideboard's a little bit different. We've taken into consideration some of his ideas. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be playing first. But before we get started, Ross, what you got for me? I saw you making some faces. You got a good one? I need a good one.
Well, we got a couple people asking about Jerry's hat. We got Craig H.A. who's wondering why you're wearing a beanie in the middle of June. And someone else asking whether you're ever going to replace it. So I don't know if you want to, stick
A
up
lot
for
of
your
beanie
beanie.
questions.
Yeah.
I like to be warm. Like, I don't like to be uncomfortable, and being more warm than cold is kind of like my general comfort state.
Oh, yeah.
So I like the beanie. I would be wearing a hoodie right now, but I want to show off the new SCG
I
shirt.
mean, he literally was wearing a hoodie until Jeremy brought us some new Star City shirts. And of course, these new Star City shirts, you can go to starcitygames.com/probably merch or something. I don't, So there's probably a better link. But if you go to starcitygames.com and go to the section that has our merch, you can check out these brand new shirts with our brand new logo. So I like them a lot. So
Back to the beanie, though. This is real talk.
Okay.
This is real talk. Okay, so GP Denver 2008. I won this tournament. If you go look at the winner's photo, you'll see me wearing a different beanie, a black beanie. I lost that beanie. It was my favorite beanie of all time. This one's good. It is a good replacement.
Yeah.
But I was beanieless for multiple years until I found a good replacement.
All right. Well, anything else pressing?
Yeah, we got one more good one. Warlord P is asking, who's going to pilot Todd's modern decks now that I'm not across from you?
Whoa.
Is that Jerry, or do I need to pay attention during the modern section? We weren't informed before we went live. I'm just wondering.
Wow.
Okay, that guy's on notice.
no comment. Okay.
All right, so let's take a look at our opening hands and get here and get some magic started. And I have the marbles, so you get to play first. And how are we doing the marbles, Ross? They're your marbles. Are they? Well, they are literally his dad's marbles.
Yes.
I'm definitely stealing them.
But you can't steal them. You got to earn them.
Sorry, Paul. Yeah, I mean, if I steal it and get away with it, that's earning it.
I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law.
That's the 2002 Magic philosophy right there.
Times are a little bit different now.
All right, my hand is pretty good.
Mine's great. I still don't feel like I should get to play first, but
You're the guest. Just go.
all right, go.
We can roll dice if you really want to, but we can also leave your friends behind.
I
Roll dice if you want to.
I don't get that.
You're gonna leave your
Can you explain
friends
it?
behind.
Your hand is very medium.
Standouts here include the 2 creatures and the chart, of course, because obviously Radical Idea is Mope.
It is Mope. How many are in your deck?
Probably 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Take the chart. Get our surveil on.
Dude, are you ready? Are you ready for me to put 3 cards on the bottom?
I am. Do you want to just put them on the bottom right now? Do you want to look at them?
I would rather not look at them. Oh, we hit! Ooh,
God, that's so lucky.
Too. Here we go. It is so lucky. In the 3 test games we played before, I missed every time. First time we hit, nice.
Getting that bad luck out of the way.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 2. All right, I'm just going to take this thing up.
Smart.
Your turn.
18.
I'm pretty sure your auger's going to miss again, but I don't want to tick down. So.
All right. I think I just want to use my mana efficiently, and that means playing Electromancer and a Radical Idea. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then if he wants to bounce, it's... Oh, yeah. Okay. Your turn. Now it needs bounce plus protection to keep it alive, like a Bellhaunt. But
Yeah.
A tick up also here is probably not that bad. Depends on what's in his hand, obviously.
Let's bounce the Electromancer.
You go.
Let's Thought Erasure you.
Your Phonics.
Hooked on Phonics. So I have this Teferi stopping the finale currently, but he can just play a Phoenix to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's either Electromancer or Finale, probably. The Augur has a chance to miss, and I think taking that is a little weaker than the other two, but...
I'm
Are you
I'm definitely going to be playing this. I'm going to take the Finale, I guess.
Okay.
It's just like the most impactful card, and...
If I'm able to get the Teferi off the battlefield.
Yeah, then it's going to be bad times for me. Your hand stinks. I don't want that.
Okay.
I've completed all of my game actions, correct? Good.
Unless you want to kill this at instant speed or sort
Planeswalkers are tricky, man.
Okay, so here's the thing. Jerry probably can't keep his... He definitely can't keep his Teferi alive if I just go Phoenix, attack it. But I kind of want him to just burn a removal spell on the Augur. And plus, since I have both the Electromancer and the Augur, I kind of... And multiple Radical Ideas, I really don't want to cast the Phoenix in this spot. So I think what I want to do is probably go attack the Teferi and then play both my creatures. Because if he burns a removal spell on this, that means there's a decent probability Electromancer untaps next turn, which is also sweet.
It's not bad. That is a reasonable assumption. How much do I care about this Electromancer?
And plus, a Teferi at 1 loyalty is not a huge threat either, especially because it made me discard my Finale.
Right. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to survive long enough to take this up, but yeah, I'm gonna scorn this.
Okay. We'll shock to 18 and start with an Augur.
Hello and good luck.
Oh, we did it. And that's probably perfect too, because he might be following it up with a Bellhaunt. Your turn.
All right.
So you know these three.
Tick up there. First things first.
Are you the realist?
I don't know what that means. I don't get any of these references, man.
It's because you are not a pop culture head.
I'm not a meme lord. All right.
Jeffrey. All right.
Tick up there, and then untap these ones.
Any delis on my Electromancer? You got some businesses for him?
None. 0 businesses.
All right. Well,
Couple delis. Some happenings.
let's start with a Radical Idea. Draw. Now, we have a really tough decision here. No, we don't. I'm stupid. I just have 2 Radical Ideas in my graveyard. All right, let's go Radical, pitch this, draw. Radical, pitch this, draw.
These.
And bring them both back.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to imagine that if he had a removal spell that wasn't Despark, he would have killed Electromancer, so he either has nothing or Despark. Let's go.
Why not both?
So basically, the 1 damage from Augur on a Planeswalker in this spot doesn't matter too much. So let's go 2 at the Raveler, and we'll go 6 at the Big Teferi and 1 at you.
What if I do have Despark and I kill one of these? Do you think the Augur going here matters?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, we'll lock it in.
Okay.
This goes to 2. This goes to 0.
All right, you take 1.
Is that first blood? Am I at 19? Did I take?
You shocked. It's your 17.
I don't believe you. That's fine though.
Okay, now I can gamble on a opt here to look for a burn spell. I think I want to do that to just try to find a way to close out this Teferi. It's not a burn spell. It's a Charter Course though, and I kind of like it.
I don't think you've ever bottomed a Charter Course in your life.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Best card in the deck.
Why, it is
What are you talking
so good.
You done?
Yeah.
It's like light up the stage, but you can cast the cards, whenever you feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Herm. Yeah, pick that up. That's
hold it
fine.
like this.
But then you're gonna forget what.
No,
it
that's
is.
the Magic Online or the Magic Arena way.
Yeah.
Right.
I've ticked up my Teferi. You have 4 cards.
Here comes the belly.
Yep, I'll gain 3 back to 20.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to my end step and untap some stuff.
All right. Let's go coil the bell haunt. All right, you have 2 or 3?
2. This is one of those games where there were a lot of decisions, and I feel like I blew a lot of them. But I currently don't know how.
Everybody's very. Okay. Definite. Go.
Not really sure how I come back from this.
Now, Jerry actually 3-0'd me in our fun games, and he's just like, I'm just going to lose all the real games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Narset.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had this for a while, but I'd never had like a safe time to actually play it because it would just die immediately. But
I think, and that's a lot of that is due to the strength of the 2-drops in the deck, the Electromancers and the Augurs. Like you're kind of overloading on them.
yeah,
And
well, the Augur definitely pressured the Teferi earlier
right.
too.
Yeah.
And if it was a Crackling Drake, I think I would have just had a field day with like repulsing your stuff.
Yeah, your discard spells have been a lot better too because you kind of knocked me off curve pretty regularly, pretty easily.
Oh dear. All right. Let's get this Teferi. I guess I'm going to erasure you. Take your charts. Spin this. Good.
All right, he's only got 1 on tap. Let's draw with Kefnet and see if we hit. Ooh. So we get to double Charter Course. Then we get to cast it.
If you would like to go through the motions, by all means.
Oh yeah, the first one. We're going to discard Phoenix. We draw it. Just cast it again. A little shock.
Phoenix Song?
It.
You can't Phoenix Song when one is already exiled.
That's the Todd is winning song.
Oh, yeah.
And then 1 at Narset, shock the Narset, and then 1 at Narset, and 10 at you.
10 at me. All right, I'm at 10.
And I'll hold this.
Are you
because
done?
I have a coil. Your turn. Okay.
Wasn't there a Narset in play for that turn?
Yeah, I shocked the Narset. Oh. What are you doing?
Still conceding.
Okay.
You still just attack the Narset and cast a chart.
Oh, yeah. Well, but.
Ability's getting everybody.
Yeah. Well, he conceded, so there was no Narset on the battlefield.
Yeah, that is true. That's accurate.
Oh, might have to get Ricky in here.
I don't know, man.
What happens? Do we sideboard now?
We can, or we can play another pre-board game. I'll let you choose.
Well, we got a lot of decks to get through.
Well, we do have a lot of decks to get through, but I also gave us an extra whole hour. Because we're doing an extra hour today. That's why we're starting early at noon. So we can go sideboard, or we can play 2 pre, 1 post, or...
Let's sideboard. Does that work?
Cool. Let's take 3 minutes. All right, looks like Jerry's still going over his last few slots, so I'll start from my side. So basically, Finale of Promise is a card that would normally be pretty good in a matchup like this, but it doesn't work against Teferi, Time Raveler, and this deck is actually a little light on sorceries, as well as we're bringing in a bunch of counter spells. All these cards kind of work poorly with Finale, and I think it's worth cutting against a deck with Teferi where we're not really trying to flashback removal spells. Like I think I like it against Bant mid-range or something like that, but here it's just not quite good enough. Shock is actually just a call where I'm pretty sure all the Esper hero decks side out Hero Precinct 1 against me because I have Shock and Lightning Strike and Coil. It just is one of those cards they're going to play early, it's going to get cacked, and it's not really going to gain some value, or they're going to draw it late and their hand is like a little bit light because they've been trying to trade 1-for-1 early on. The 1/1 on the ground is also not a huge deal because I have a bunch of Augurs and Bolas. And then finally, we're cutting cards that are actually bad against the Planeswalkers. Izzet is normally quite good in matchups like this, but the way the Planeswalkers generate value is by staying on the battlefield for multiple turns, but also by getting rid of creatures or opposing threats without actually casting an instant or sorcery. The Teferi here are Dominaria minuses, Time Raveler minuses. Sometimes they play Big Liliana, which you're cutting. And then also Narset keeps me from drawing a bunch of cards. So there's a lot of ways that actually check Niv, so I'm going to be cutting it here. And then the God Eternal Kefnets function a lot like the Crackling Drakes in this matchup, where you play them, they might not have an effect, and sometimes even if they do have an effect, it's stifled by one of those static effects like we saw in Game 1. So we're going to be cutting these for these. I think the Planeswalkers generating some card advantage might be a little tough for Jerry to defeat, and then we have some counter spells for the Planeswalkers and a Beacon Bolt because we kind of expect Lear Dawnbringer, and also it just usually kills 3/4 dude. What's his name?
Belhan. Yeah, so all my sideboard cards are potentially useful here. It just depends on how Todd sideboards. Normally, what Martin Mueller was doing was boarding out the heroes and bringing in Kaya's Wrath, expecting them to have a bunch of Crackling Drakes and Legion War Bosses and stuff like that. Also, hero when you want to cry the Carnarium on the Arclight Phoenixes is just kind of a nombo. And this is one of those matchups for sure where, like, after we play a game 2 and I would see like Narset, you not having Legion War Boss, stuff like that, I might just bring the heroes back in. Yeah. And same thing with like the Elder Spell. The Elder Spell might be useful depending on how many Planeswalkers you have. And then it's weird because things like Command the Dreadhorde are pretty bad in game 1, but are a lot better in the post-board games when both players slow down. And
no, and I think that's kind of an effect of how people sideboard and how strong the sideboards are in this format. You know, you have stuff like Thief of Sanity for a long time gave you that switcheroo, so something like Cast Down would be really bad in game 1, but in game 2 when they have 4 Thief of Sanity in their deck, you need some way to check the Thief or else it's going to take away the game. The same is true for Legion War Boss sometimes, and I've just gone a different way because Andrew Zegas said that the Legion War Bosses were not good, and I concurred.
Yeah, you had the same experience.
Yeah. All right, Ross, it's your time to shine, baby. Let's go.
Okay. We got a couple good ones. Emperor Floyd is wondering about D-Spark, specifically with a card that is sort of a narrow, powerful answer like that. How do you go about determining when the metagame conditions are right so you start moving it from your sideboard, maybe even into your main deck? Like, what guidelines do you follow?
I think when the aggro decks play really powerful 4-drops, because we see the mono red decks really hinge on Experimental Frenzy and Chandra Fire Artisan. And from my side, when I'm playing mono red, I got D-Sparked for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Feels bad.
Mono red, and I was just like, why is that in that guy's deck? And then I thought,
oh, it's just good against everyone.
No, it's just great.
Even against mono white, they have Venerated Loxodon, Conclave Tribunal. Sure. Like, it's not completely dead against them, which I think is basically the key.
I would probably side out against the white weenie decks.
I would too.
But I think that you have to leave them in against the mono red decks because the way that they beat you is to go over the top with their 4-drop.
Yeah, mono red is basically the reason why I have the main deck, because it is the cheapest answer to their 4-drops, and the 4-drops are generally the best cards against you.
Yeah, and basically has a target against every deck in the format. It's pretty good. Keep going.
Mr. Zarakai wants to know if Legion War Boss, which you mentioned, is not good in the Izzet Phoenix sideboard. Is that a indictment of Legion War Boss in general and standard right now, or just specifically from the Izzet deck?
For me, it's about the card in standard. Like, I still might board it in mono red because your sideboard options are limited, but just from playing the single color. But if you think about it, like the Command the Dreadhorde decks, the 4-color ones, right? They all play Wild Growth, Jade Light, and Merfolk Branchwalker. All cards that kind of check it, and the tokens. The Esper hero decks, they usually play a bunch of heroes and Basilica Bellhaunts. All these kind of check the Legion War Boss and the tokens. And so I felt like I wasn't really gaining any traction whenever I was playing. Either my opponent would kill it, or they would have a way to check it on the ground. And in both those scenarios, it just felt like a pretty weak sideboard card. As far as I think it was really good when the Jeskai Planeswalker deck was really popular, but this format is moving so insanely fast that things that are good 1 week can be invalidated by the next week.
Well, the thing about Legion War Boss specifically, and to a lesser extent Thief of Sanity, is that people are now ready for it. It's no longer this thing that potentially catches them off guard. Yeah. So they are able to sideboard in such a way where they're not caught with their pants down. So like Mueller's sideboarding plan against Izzet Phoenix, for example, you wouldn't normally bring in like Kaya's Wrath against Izzet Phoenix, but it's just like that is a thing that you do in the dark now because basically everyone has War Boss. So it might be time to actually move away from that stuff.
Yep. All right.
Carrie DS92, this one's for Jerry. How do you feel about your Sultai Dreadhorde list, or the Sultai Dreadhorde list going into the NV? I know you wrote about that deck last week.
Well, it's what you were wanting to play today, right?
So it's good. It is definitely one of, the 7 decks that I'm considering or whatever. I think last week it was very good, but it might have been a better week for Esper. And now I think there's going to be a lot of people moving to Esper, and that's kind of tough for Sultai. It's like not exactly where you would want to be.
Oh, I actually assumed that you were just going way over the top, so you were a little bit better. But
well, the problem is that Esper has all the tools to pick you apart, and they have the good cheap planeswalkers.
Sure.
And they have Basilica Bellhaunt to brick your stupid Explore creatures. And like you've played Golgari and
Yeah.
Sultai and stuff like that. Like, you know how bad those Explore creatures are sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get flooded and they don't do anything. But at the same time, sometimes your opponent boards in a bunch of counter spells like Dovin's Veto, and then you just beat them to death with a bunch of 2 and 3 minute creatures.
That definitely does happen, but like Veto is just not a card that I would bring in mirrors, really.
Sure. I mean, that's fair. All right, let's do 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
NACL Samurai. Todd, have you considered playing Narset in the main deck of your Izzet Phoenix deck, given how powerful
He
that card
keeps
is?
trying.
I mean, look, I want to so badly because I think the card is just absolutely disgusting. But every time I do, the first match I play against is either mono white or mono red, and it just looks really bad.
Yeah.
And we don't really have like a good Planeswalker theme. But if there were a version of the deck that could protect it, it's the one with a bunch of Augurs of Bolas. So, you know, there's a chance that the Kefnets are just not good enough. And if that's the case, you know, we can maybe just get them out the deck and just play a bunch of Planeswalkers, you know. I think that, you know, the more Planeswalkers you play, the better Augur Bolas gets because it can protect it. But the worse it gets because it puts fewer hits in your deck for the Augur. So you have to supplant your creatures with the Planeswalkers. And that just means being kind of threat light. I'm not sure if you can afford to be that way.
And aside from Finale, there's not a lot of cards that you can Narset into that are threats.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Okay, I got a couple people here, Rage Bucket and Never TV. Both wondering about the Jeskai Super Friends deck and why it seems to have dropped off so suddenly after having such a great performance a couple weeks ago.
Dreadhorde.
Yeah.
Dreadhorde just goes over the top of them. They have access to Elder Spell. They just have like a bunch of good ways to actually check you.
I think that deck was really good. That weekend, Elder Spell was not heavily played. It was like sometimes a one of in the main deck of like Planeswalker decks or two or three in the sideboard. I think also specifically their deck was really well positioned for that event because Spell Pierce was really strong. And now I think Mono Red is actually coming back in a big way, and aggro decks just make counter spells a bit worse. So, all right. Wait, what was your scry? Top or bottom?
Don't worry about it.
They want to know.
It's bottom.
Okay. I wanted to know.
I know, Todd.
All right, your turn. We kept a one-lander with Opt. I think that's going to be fairly commonplace.
18.
That's a nice one. We don't have red mana. Obviously, Electromancer would be quite good here, but I think we just want actual lands, so we're going to bottom it. Draw. And here we can play Augur or we can play Chart Course. We hit our third land for next turn, so I think we actually want to play Augur. Even if this gets bounced by a Time Raveler, I think that's okay. It's kind of why it's in the deck. All right, we have our red.
Can't believe you hit.
Bottom. Do I want to keep an Opt or a Lava Claw? I think an Opt to just help me find red mana.
Graveyard.
We might be approaching the record number of consecutive Augur hits. It's got to be like 3. Nobody's ever hit 4.
2?
Nobody's ever hit 4 times in a row with that card.
I have.
That's like
Jerry's hit 4 times in one turn with that card. Resto, cast, Resto, cast, Resto. Boom. I don't know.
I don't know if that's happened.
I don't think it's happened.
All right, 16.
16, huh?
I have.
You businessing or
What's can you give me a line?
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, sorry, I'm late.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
is that like the arena phrase when you cast that card?
Yeah, he has a bunch of them. I mean, there's 2 Teferis, and each of them has their own unique lines.
Yeah, bounce it.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, so let's Opt looking for red mana. God, the Beacon Bolt. I actually kind of want to keep the Beacon Bolt because in this scenario, one of the easiest ways for me to lose is to play like a Bellhaunt or I'm going to keep it.
You know Augur doesn't find lands, right, Todd?
I know. So,
just make sure.
Yeah, if you hit on this Augur, you're going to have to discard anyway. Perfect. Oh, must be nice. Upkeep search. Just keep putting Teferis in the graveyard.
To discard a counterspell.
Seems reasonable. So you would need an opt to bring back Phoenix on your turn, probably. And you've already gone through 2. So I can play this Narset. Normally, I would just keep it at 5, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it's fine to. I probably should have
random
not
order.
discarded the Arclight Phoenix. I probably should have discarded the Spell Pierce and then I don't know, whatever.
Get a duress.
My go?
Yeah, here, I'll do this for you. Does this work?
Sure.
Now I have a Corgi in my hand. This is great.
Yeah, this combination of cards is quite annoying because I can't main phase a draw spell because of the fairy. So I think I'm just locked out.
Putting Todd in the chokehold.
Is that good?
Just good deck building.
I tried to warn you.
Yeah, here you go. I'm basically dead at this point. My counter spells are locked out. My draw spells are locked out.
Tick up onto fairy. Keep Narset at 3, maybe. Nah. Just put all my lands on the bottom. They're random. I promise.
Random enough.
Go. Bounce it.
Bop it.
Twist it.
Pull it.
This is so dumb. Okay, go.
Search. Ooh, keep it. Maybe. How greedy am I? Am I very greedy? Yeah, I'm pretty greedy. I really want a black source, man. That'd be nice.
So you can haunt some bells. Okay, I got 2 opt and a gate, a beacon bolt, a Narset, an electromancer, and a charge force. So probably an opt because it helps shut down the Phoenix, but you could also just take Narset because it's not bad.
Yeah, so now if I Teferi minus on the Augur, you could cast an opt on my turn, which is not the end of the world. You could also just see taking a Narset. What am I supposed to take?
I don't know. What else are you doing this turn? Anything?
Well, it depends what this is, because... So I did it now instead of draw step.
Well, if you're trying to hit max, I think you probably take opt, and then if there's a black source on top, you minus, and if there's not, you just plus. But then I get to kill the Narset.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's tough.
Can I surveil first? Is that allowed?
No.
All right. I'll just take the opt. Whatever. All right. Been a duress. I think I should probably just bounce the Augur. Ooh, hello.
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 Go.
All right. I'll cast opt.
All right.
I just need red mana, I think.
I agree.
Tilt.
I think Ross is doing a...
No, Todd. You drew an extra card.
No, it's in a turn.
Oh, right. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm terrible.
No, it's fine. Look, I know when my things get unlocked. It's been hurting.
It's okay, Rob. We still love you.
We didn't catch it before, so, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I'd rather you be
Augur.
overly vigilant than underly.
Radical, put more red on the bottom. How many red swords I put on the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Salt.
Yeah. Oh no.
If only there was something you could have done.
Your turn.
IceW6647 says Mono Blue Phoenix is my favorite standard deck.
Your turn. That's pretty good.
Yeah, let's agree with this.
Yep.
Transform this. Draw a card. Nice. Nice.
One of the downsides of Augur, sometimes you just watch your life slowly drain out of your body. I think maybe Electromancer's time has passed.
It's hard to say.
Actually, I don't think you're going to play anything I care about this turn, so I'm going to cast Radical Idea in response. And then I will Let's discard Electromancer. Okay. You gain 3, you're at 19?
Yeah, maybe. Go. Oh, I can't tap this for the thing.
Time to slot in 4 Izzet Guild Gates.
Alright. And post combat, I can hold up negate or chart a course. I think I just hold up negate. Your turn. Jerry's a little light on mana, which I think is the only way I might potentially win this game. So next turn we can go like Beacon Bolt attack, chart a course, hold up negate if he doesn't go for anything.
I feel like Jerry should just be making plays that maximize the horrible experience Todd is having.
That's fair. I'm down with that.
Me too, Jerry. Me too. 17. So he's probably gonna. I mean, there's no real reason to negate this. Either he's taking the negate or whatever. I'm assuming you're playing a planeswalker or something. I guess if his hand can fight through negate, he just takes the Narset. I don't know. But there's also Phoenix in the yard you have to worry about, and we have a Radical in the grave and a Phoenix. We have the chart, of course, and I will take the chart.
Did you just not negate this duress?
Why would I? I just want to hold up a negate for his second play.
Well, you're just taking. You're giving me a choice, effectively.
Sure. No, if I negate it, then you 100% get to play whatever. But now, like, if you take the negate, maybe.
Yeah. Like if he wants to play this thing, he can just take your negate. And if he wants to take something else because his hand is, trash.
My hand is trash?
No, his hand might be. It's probably not because he's been missing lands, but it's pretty much all. It's only upside to give for Jerry to have the option here to take something else.
Unless Todd thinks that I'm going to blow it.
Well, I mean, if he really doesn't want to like loose a Narset or something, he takes Narset, and then I still have negate. I don't know. Maybe giving him the choice is wrong, but let your opponent make some mistakes sometimes. Who knows? The only thing he didn't know was a mountain, so he might mess up. There's literally no other difference.
Let's maybe try and get fancy. I'll take Narset.
Okay,
Oof.
Great. Now I'm very happy with this. So
Go.
attack,
Beginning of combat.
negate it,
All right.
attack,
16.
Electromancer,
Okay.
chart course,
Okay.
Beacon Bolt.
Okay.
Your turn.
Cry.
Yikes.
Go.
Radical idea, pitch a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Electromancer, go. You just have to leave in finales. I feel like I'm light on being able to triple spell in spots like this,
Yeah.
but you don't have that many creatures, so like the odds of me getting full value out of my cards is pretty low when Coil is like my only real sorcery to cast because I don't have Tormenting Voice. I have Chart, but additional wise on it.
Sure.
Resolve. Yep.
Go.
Radical idea.
Mm-hmm.
Good draw.
Yep. Radical idea, pitch mountain. Crap.
If you beacon bolt your own Electromancer.
Yeah, you win. New game.
But
I know. I have too much removal in my deck. Alright. Gonna re-sideboard here a little bit, I think.
Do you want sideboard in the dark? So we don't know what the other person's doing?
I mean, are you resideboarding?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
All right, we're gonna take a short break here. Jerry and I are gonna take a sideboard break, I guess. Be right back. All right, we're back for game 3 where we have sideboarded in the dark. Jerry, I guess we'll do hand cams to show how we sideboarded.
I did some surgical maneuvering here.
Okay.
I have no idea if it's good or not, but that's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're also we're just testing out different configurations and stuff based on how we think our opponents are going to sideboard. This is what I have also boarded out. So hopefully this is viewable, seeable.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. There are obviously some things that could go wrong from my side, but, high risk, high reward.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong.
I agree. Narset and Teferi, Time Raveler, are very good against this deck for multiple reasons, and our job is to try to mitigate those two as much as possible.
So you sided out your charter courses. I love it.
But I do think
Care to cut.
I do think you sided out Basilica Bellhaunt, though, so I actually sided out my Lava Coils.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think I'm right. I think I gotcha.
Care to cut.
I would bet some amount of money I'm right, especially because he's making that smug grin.
For Queening Country.
Would you like to cut?
No.
What's mine called? Mischievous something or another? Come on. Mischief Mayhem?
Mayhem, yeah, something like that.
Come on. We had it earlier. We're talking about the sleeves, of course.
Ooh,
I'm
you're
on
up.
the play.
You're up.
I'm on
You're
the
up.
play.
I'm sorry.
Excuse
I'm
you.
sorry.
Excuse you. All right. Here we go.
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 18.
Makeshift mischief.
There we go.
This is quite the hand.
Yeah. Probably should have cast Opt in response to dig for land, but, I just assumed he would take Ral.
No, I'm pretty sure I have to take Opt.
All right.
Surveil. Go.
Split 3 on the bottom. All 3 lands that I need. Just want to show that to the crowd.
I don't have any lands either, man. I surveilled. Boom.
All right. Oof.
How's that taste?
Oof. Ooh. Bang.
15.
Go.
A lot of snare thopters are in your future, Jerry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you better have some D-Sparks coming. Oh, you drew a land. Tilt.
It's another hero. Just kidding.
Todd, could I interest you in a faithless looting?
Yes. Very much so. Yeah, which one?
This one.
Okay.
Go.
Go.
I'm fine with these exchanges.
Yeah. I know you are. But what am I? Dead. Is why I'm dead. Sorry. Put 3 lands on the bottom. Tilt. I should have opted in response. That was real dumb. But he would have just taken the route, so I can't really keep the land. I don't know.
All right. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this thing because it is just going to die, basically.
That's true. But do you want to cash
One
in
way or the other.
3 life for a thing?
Kind of do. It seems reasonable.
Love it. Plus, I might play around fungal infection.
13.
You get a Row or Pierce.
We'll take a Ral.
All right.
Go.
3 in our set, 3 to you.
I'm at 10.
Go.
Snare thopter, go.
I kept this hand knowing that I was just going to be hard casting Phoenixes early on. Luckily.
And in the mid game,
Yeah.
and in the late
in the
game.
late game. Yeah.
You need more Chief of the Foundries in your Snare thopter deck, Todd.
I'm also just not afraid of Cry the Carnarian because I'm just pretty sure Jerry has Hero instead.
What about Lyra? Are you scared of Lyra?
A little, but you can't really attack with it.
The hell I can't.
Fair enough.
Can't tell me what to do.
Go.
Coward.
True.
Howard M. Spell Pierces.
Not very good, especially when you know about them.
You know what is good? Lyra Dawnbringer.
That's why I brought in Beacon Bolt, which does approximately no damage right now.
I'm going to bounce a Snare Thopter. like I should maybe get to killing you.
Ship it.
Nah, go.
Why would you ever kill me? All right.
The classic Michael Major strategy
I'll
of
block
never
one,
try to kill
bounce
your
one.
opponent.
Go to 15.
And unfortunately, we can't. Sorry, move this one. Can't do much about it, so we'll just recast this and say go.
Tick up Teferi, play other Teferi, get more Shaheens.
Yeah, we are real dead.
What are we doing with this one?
I don't know, man. Wait, how is this one in the graveyard? What did I? Oh, you blocked.
I did block.
Yeah. You're at 20, or you're at 20 now.
No, I went from 10 to 15.
How are you at 10?
You hit me with Phoenixes and I took a bunch of damage.
Okay, sure.
Mm.
Yeah, he's gambling. You should definitely minus on this Phoenix.
Should I?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm in trouble.
Go.
All right, we need to draw.
It's going to be about time to start trading these tokens for 4 points of damage too.
You know, I actually was about to say that I really need to draw an opt.
And?
I drew an opt.
Dude, must be nice.
Does that matter, though?
Helps me get my Phoenixes back.
Yeah.
I have a Pierce you know about. And then that lets me attack and kill a Planeswalker. I will attack and kill a... Well, you showed me the 2 hero Dominaria, right?
Well, I got a time traveler too, so
Good lord.
A
Let's
full
kill
house
the-
of Teferis.
Kill the hero, I guess.
all right. Block 1, gain 5.
Yep. You're at 20 now?
20.
Go.
Check
Goodness.
this up. Roar.
Let's eat a token, take 9.
So I'm at 25. You're at 11. I'll play hero.
Yeah.
Get Shaheen back. And I think I'm kind of fine just doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go. Because I'm kind of crushing Todd on cards right now and board position, so it's just like making his life as miserable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then these planeswalkers are going to die, which is fine because I just get to play more of them. And then next turn I get to bounce with this and then bounce again.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Bouncy bounce. Can I get a line?
Hmm?
Can I get a Teferi line?
No. I don't play that much with the Teferi, so I don't actually know all
You
the
play
lines.
against Teferi though.
Right, but like I'm squishing them, so I don't really pay
Are you, though?
usually.
On arena. Is he like, you'll regret this or something like that?
Oh yeah, whenever you smack him and he
Yeah.
doesn't go away. Yeah. Look, man, I'm blanking. You put me on the spot. Okay. What time is it? Is it time to move on? It's time to move on. Let's take a couple questions, I guess. If you have any questions for Jerry, let's ask some Jerry questions specifically.
I don't have any specific Jerry questions.
All right, hit me.
I got Salt Samurai with a sweet suggestion of Star of Extinction in your Izzet sideboard. That was a nice one.
Cost 7. I mean, there have been those
Cost
in
6
the
if you got
past.
Electromancer.
But then your Electromancer dies.
Yeah. There have been versions in the past that have sideboarded Treasure Map, Niv Mizzet, that had like Dive Down's main deck with the like 8 Drakes, and like those versions sometimes went up to Star of Extinction to help out against the Golgari deck because they played Carnage Tyrant. I think you just have to rely on Phoenix to pressure the Planeswalkers. In this scenario, Jerry had Lair Dawnbringer, which protected them quite easily, even though I had a bunch of Phoenixes. And I didn't draw Beacon Bolt, and he had taken away my Rao, and my draw was a little lackluster overall. But that's kind of the place I put myself in, right? Because I had taken out a bunch of my removal spells, and then here Precinct 1 was a problem.
And here are all the bell haunts I left in.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Gotcha.
It's making me feel bad.
Okay, we got Nemodox wondering how Bant midrange can re-enter the metagame after that strong showing it had in week 1.
I don't think it was ever really in the metagame. I think that
Got 2 people on top 8.
yeah, Harlan and Rudy, who are like good at Magic, right? Playing this kind of weird deck in week 1 that has a bunch of powerful cards.
Yeah.
I mean, God Eternal Oketra has basically not done anything since. A lot of these mid-range decks have moved towards Planeswalker decks, and the blue-green base ones have moved towards either Nexus of Fate or Mass Manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real thing is that people are starting to figure out that Nissa Who Shakes the World is busted.
Yes.
And a lot of these decks that would normally be playing God Eternal Ketra are instead playing
You should just play Nissa.
because you just get these huge boosts of mana, which means your crises are insane. Cards like Mass Manipulation can just completely swing games against these Planeswalker decks. And I mean, I agree, but I think that God Eternal Ketra is quite strong. I just think that the card Teferi Time Raveler is fairly problematic for your deck that wants to play 4 of the
Vivian.
Baby Vivians, the champion of the Wilds, I think. It's just a little too weak compared to the Planeswalker decks because those decks just accrue advantages every single turn. Whereas like you have Planeswalkers yourself, but you're not really like Planeswalker themed, and I would be more reliant on them right now. So
Yeah, I think there are just better ways to build Simic base things. Yeah. Even Selesnya base things.
Okay. Various people asking that with powerful graveyard cards like Arclight Phoenix and Command the Dreadhorde doing really well in Standard, should there be more powerful graveyard hate options available in the format?
So the graveyard hate cards that I would want to play in a format like this are ones that are incidentally good. Like a thing like Nile Spellbomb would be nice because even worst case scenario it cycles. But
right.
The thing with both the Command the Dreadhorde decks and the Arclight Phoenix decks is that in post-board games they rely less on the graveyard. Mm-hmm. So then you're bringing in these things like Sentinel Totem, Silent Gravestone, or whatever sort of graveyard hate that you want to see printed, and then they just stop caring about it.
Yeah, I'm actually like kind of upset that at no point have they given us like the equivalent of a Relic of Progenitus or a Nile Spellbomb in some way, like this cheap anti thing that cycles. Like there's what's the one that is it Silent Gravestone that spends 4 to cycle it?
Yeah.
Like that is just it's too expensive, and it's not something that I want to even bother with, which is unfortunate because I think the design of it's really cool, just keeping things from being able to be targeted. Like I know it sees play out of like Legacy Dredge
to counter their surgical extractions.
Yeah, which is pretty hilarious.
It's a graveyard hate card that protects you from graveyard hate.
Yeah, so that's
perfect.
Cool. I don't know. I would much rather. I mean, if there were something like a Relic or a Nile Spellbomb, I would definitely say yes. But without something like that, it's not worth it. Every deck that relies on the graveyard is like barely relying on the graveyard. The deck functions very well without it.
Instead, you just play things like D-Spark to handle Arclight Phoenix, counter spells, discard spells to handle Command the Dreadhorde, stuff like that. Like just because the cards say graveyard on them doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be attacking the graveyard.
Right.
One more before we move on, and it's from Salt Samurai again. For both of you, how well is a card like Thrash Threat positioned with so many Planeswalker decks around?
That's the one that makes 4/2 or
makes a 4/4 trample on the threat side. The Thrash half though is like a Follow the Hammer that can go to Planeswalkers.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like Blood.
Yeah.
What was the
Flesh Blood?
Flesh Blood. Yeah.
I mean, Collision Colossus and Lightning Strike basically just do the same things though.
Well, they don't do enough sometimes to like actually kill like 5 or 6 loyalty Planeswalkers, which I think is a big deal.
Sure, but I mean that card also has the same issue where like, are you going to have a 6 power thing in play all the time?
I mean, no, but I think that there is something to be said about how people tap out like every single turn in this format.
Like if you have a 6 power creature, right, or a 5 power creature, Collision Colossus I think is going to kill that Planeswalker.
Sure, but can Collision be a threat?
No, but I also don't want a 4-mana 4/4.
Especially one that gets cleanly bounced by Teferi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So we're talking about playing
Thrash. I would play Flesh Blood in this format, but I don't think I would play Thrash Threat. I'm actually like kind of sad that they just like watered down all the effects. Like there's actually like a card with Domri on it that like
the ambush.
Yeah, it's like Domri's ambush. Yeah,
it's a sorcery.
Domri fights planeswalker or creature instead of like just blood from flesh. Blood was just better because it could player.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but we're gonna move on here. We got 3 more matches. We got an extra long versus live today. We're gonna be playing one more standard match. I'm gonna be playing Gruul aggro against Jerry's Esper hero deck, and
Probably D-sideboard.
he's gonna D-sideboard. But we're gonna take a short break here while we get that set up. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back for more versus live.